Hello everyone, I'm Marcello. This is Joel A. Erickson. It's a bye week at Auburn, but what did we learn this week? What really stood out as Auburn tries to work out some kinks with everything on the offense and defense?
I think the pass rush stuck out to me. Ellis still not real, doesn't feel real good about his edge guys. Feels good about that push inside, but it's hard to really get a lot of escapability if you don't have something coming on the outside. So that really stuck out. And the thing I think that everyone's talking about is Nick's passing game, but we kind of think that's less of a story.
We think that's going to get better, and with a big game like this, he always steps up. So we'll see. If he doesn't step up against Kansas State, maybe start questioning them. The big thing for me this week was just Auburn's, and this goes back to last season, it's just when there's a quarterback run, a design quarterback run, or even a scramble, they seem to struggle with it. And that's going to be big next week, obviously, at Kansas State. They run the zone read. They do hand off to the running back a little bit more. But Jake Waters, if he needs to take the game over, we saw it against Iowa State, that's what he'll do. He will run the ball at you and pick up yards.
One thing to note with that, that just popped into my head, one thing to note with that, a lot of those quarterback runs, Auburn's at a disadvantage because Casanova McKenzie's not on the field. They run those draws when Auburn's in their dime package. They run that zone when they run zone read. If Jake, does he go outside? Is he an outside guy on the zone read?
Who's that? Jake Waters? He is an inside guy.
He's an inside. That will help.
Yeah.
But McKenzie isn't necessarily always on the field when those things happen. Obviously, he's had a really good first two games, and you'd want him to be. I wonder if maybe they try to start using him a little more, even if he's not great in coverage,
right.
But if you have him sitting there attacking somebody, it's a little bit better.
So Auburn and Kansas State are not playing games Saturday, which leaves us at a complete whoa, what are we going to do? We're like you, or like the fans. What are we going to do? What game are you going to be watching this weekend that you're really interested in?
Georgia, South Carolina. I mean, Georgia, obviously Todd Gurley had that impressive performance against Clemson, but really I'm more interested in South Carolina. I'm interested in seeing whether or not South Carolina's defense looks better than it did against Texas A&M. Obviously that was a game a lot of people circled on Auburn's schedule, and after the Texas A&M game you wondered, is that one we should have circled? So I'll be interested to see if they can come back against a good opponent and play more like the South Carolina everyone was expecting.
Yeah, exactly. It's a big game for them, big game for their season. And obviously in the SEC East, Georgia wins that, they are in the driver's seat.
Oh, yeah.
So my game I'm really interested in seeing is an opponent that Auburn's already faces in the rearview mirror. It's Arkansas at Texas Tech. I think Arkansas is much better than it was a season ago. Texas Tech struggling a little bit. They only won by 7 points against Central Arkansas, which put Ole Miss to the limits a couple of years ago. I'm not so sure Texas Tech's offense is revved up like we've seen in the past, especially with Cliff Kingsbury the last couple of years. I think Arkansas is going to be able to go in there, get the upset, and get that win that Brett Bielema really needed to get them going. And also, in doing so, if they win against Texas Tech, helps Auburn's stature in the top 5. Maybe people start going, you know what? That was a very impressive season-opening win against the Razorbacks. One
thing to watch there, and I kind of wish I would have thought about this when I made my pick on that game. I believe it's a 2:30 kickoff.
It's an afternoon kickoff.
That's not good. I spent some time in West Texas. It's not good for Texas Tech. Texas Tech wants to play its games at night. That field is very different. The environment's very different at night. So maybe not getting quite as much home field advantage as they want there. Again, probably should have thought about that when I made that pick.
And then Arkansas is probably going to lose the game anyway. So even though I picked it, they'll probably end up losing anyway. But if you want to pick against us, go to AL.com.
More shameless plug.
Go to AL.com. We have a pick'em contest there. You can go up against all of us and beat us because we're not very good at picking games.
No, we're better at evaluating afterwards.
Yes. More at AL.com. It's a website. We are on it.